a talk some time ago to a group of students from a Muslim society in Singapore who had invited me to talk about halal. In the talk, I had asked them to raise their hands if they're able to identify food which are halal if we didn't have the halal logo. In other words, the conditions that makes food halal with or without the halal logo, are you able to name them? Less than half of them are able to raise their hands. Even among those that raise their hands, they weren't able to name all the conditions. Just take a pause and ask yourself, who taught you about halal? If I were to think about it for myself, I would say the form of halal education I got was just from my parents. Mom says can eat from makcik stall, cannot eat from the non-Muslim stall. Mom says can eat food which are halal certified, then cannot eat food which are not halal certified. On top of that, we will learn about halal meat and how halal meat is different from the non-halal meat, and we learn about this especially during Hari Raya Haji. And that's about it that I know about halal, which is pretty sad, especially when I travel. I have to figure out which are halal and which are not by myself, but I wasn't really educated on what makes food halal. My knowledge about halal did not deepen until I was working at my previous workplace, and it was Waris Halal, and they are the only people who do what they did at that point in time. Waris Halal is a company that was owned by MUIS. They were helping MUIS with a lot of halal certification matters. Now at that point in time, they were handling halal inspections, they were handling halal audits. In my portfolio was international halal certification. Let's say there's a company in China that wants the MUIS halal certification before they can import their product into Singapore. The first step is for this company to first gather all the information about their food, about their company, about their factory, including all the ingredients used in the production of a particular product, and they have to send it to my office. Guess who's the first one to read it? Aha! Me! I was kind of like the first line of approval. I have to look through all the ingredients to mark out any red flags that will make it non-halal. Sometimes I will actually ask them to send some ingredients for lab test, and I'll read the lab test to see whether there's any halal risk there. The second thing I'll do is I'll look through the processes to see whether there's any part of the process that involves the production of alcohol as a side product that will make the food non-halal. If I come across something that I didn't know, I have to do research on it. Online was not enough. I actually had a dictionary of food names on my table, which I have to refer to. This process is called the desktop audit. So if everything is okay with my desktop audit and I approve it, I recommend it for approval for the next round, then it will pass to my bosses. The last step is for the auditors to fly over to check that all the ingredients there are as per what they mentioned and all the processes are in place. If nothing is wrong, then you'll be granted the halal cert. How do us as Muslims decide so whether something is halal or not? We might not recognize all of the ingredients. For those ingredients which are new especially, we will first have to do research on what the food item is, where it came from, and what's the origin of the food item. That is the first thing that we need to know. After we learn about the food, our Asatiza counterparts, we will discuss dalil and hadith to see whether this food item can fall under the classification of halal. The things that we have found inside all the application of food items that come into our office, oh my god, like really, we found weird things. Like for example, some of the flour that was submitted to us, they actually use human hair to make the flour stretchy. Sometimes in candy, we find that one of the ingredients is from insects, like from ants. For more serious matters, we actually bring it up to the office of the Mufti, and the office of the Mufti will decide whether it's halal or not. What I missed most about my previous workplace was those discussions. Like, we had a fair share of scientists at Asatizas, and we would discuss a lot of things about halal, and that's where a lot of my knowledge came from. And that's also where I learned big principles like everything is halal unless otherwise stated. All from the sea is halal. We also learn about the power of the Mufti. Mufti is also able to give rulings for their country, for their ummah in that country, to say that certain food items is haram for this country. An example, we have Muslims who are importing halal wine or halal certified wine into Singapore, and they wanted to sell it in halal certified establishments. These halal certified establishments would have to check with MUIS whether it's halal or not, and MUIS needs to give the go ahead. If MUIS says yes, you can sell this, then yeah, then the person will sell it. But the problem was, MUIS said no, there's no such thing as halal wine. You guys can check out what MUIS says about halal wine here, or I'll leave the link in a comment. Can't say I agree with it 100%, but that's what a Mufti says, and we follow the Mufti. Whenever a Mufti releases a fatwa about what is halal and what is not, they will actually give a whole reference about why this ruling is okay. That's the power of Mufti. You know the whole thing about if you was, stay away, do not eat it if you are doubtful. We also learned that that is not acceptable. It's not enough for you to just live in doubt and just stay away from everything because you are doubtful. I would really recommend muslimconsumergroup.com. They have the widest reference of what is halal and what is not. Sometimes they even tell you it's halal in this mazhab and it's haram in this mazhab, and they also tell you about how food is being made and then leave it for you to decide whether it's halal or not. Okay, so join me in my next episode, inshallah. I can't say who's the asatiza yet until the video actually happens. So yeah, join me in my next series where we enlighten you guys a bit about what makes things halal and what makes things not halal, so that you guys can make your own decision. Till the next episode, please like and share this video if you think that it has been beneficial for you. Let's make halal knowledge common knowledge, okay? And most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you guys want to help us make sure we continue to exist, download the Halal Food Hunt. Thanks guys. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video, inshallah. Bye.